Okay, second video. This video is going to be about clearing the ball from our defensive side this year, whether it's a goal kick or it's going to be a punt or a throw. So obviously a goal kick. Um, so for those of you who don't know, if the opposing team knocks the ball outside our back line, it's a goal kick. Okay. If we knock the ball outside our back line, it's a corner kick. We'll discuss that later. But in this situation, let's pretend the orange team knocked the ball outside our back line, and or Olivia picked up the ball. Then we're going to discuss how we're going to clear the ball from our side of the field for this year. Okay. And when I just talked about it in the 4-2-3-1, this rounded back four. Okay. And again, like I said before, if it's pretty flat, it allows players to gain space. We're not going to do this. So this quite literally will be the formation we're going to sit in when Olivia has the ball and she's going to punt the ball. She has 6 or 7 seconds, and that's plenty enough time for everyone to kind of drop into their spots of where we want to be. Okay. Now, what I did here was I created essentially pardon me. We can just leave it here. A 4-4-2, roughly the back four. Most teams play pretty flat. And so what's going to happen here is when Olivia gets the ball, our center backs are going to go to the outside of the box, right? Outside of the big box, not the small box. This is outside the 18-yard. This is the 6-yard line. They're going to go, obviously, it's not drawn to scale, right? So they're going to get to the outside of the box into defensive position. We want our right back and left back to play on the line. We're going to explain why in a second. Our defensive mids are going to clog up the center part of this field. We've got our striker. Typically in the past, I've always had the striker sit on these back positions, but what we want to do is move inside the center line, and we're going to kind of cover this center of the part of the field. And the same thing for our center attacking mid. So we really want to have 6 players for the most part, 6 players basically aligned in this situation here. They can move obviously a little bit here, but the bottom line is kind of like 3 players on the left, 3 players on the right. We've got the center covered. And on the on the left hand side, we've got a wide left back, wide left forward, wide right back, wide right forward. So we're not chasing everyone around. Obviously, if a player, let's say number 10, wants to keep creeping in, Sarah in this position can come guard her and pick her up if she wants to. I'm not, whatever the situation entails, but this is how it works. The other thing is, which we've talked about this, is we want to make sure that we're goal side when we kick the ball. Oh, and we want to be goal side when they're on their defensive side. Well, all the goal side means is for new people is you don't want to be standing behind this player because if Olivia kicks it, let's pretend she has a bad kick, and it goes up here to the number 10. She's in front of our attacking defensive mid here, so she can easily take this ball. What we want to do is make sure that we're in this type of a situation, right, to receive this ball. We're mostly concerned about any mistakes down here on the defensive side, and if she could, we'll talk about, so let's say she punts it and it gets all the way out here, then we make an adjustment. We don't want to make a mistake on the interior here and have a punt go here and it gets, it looks like this situation. We don't want that situation. We would prefer this situation. That's what we would prefer, that we get the ball first, at least the opportunity to get the ball first. Okay. Now, and this is in a punting situation. Olivia can punt the ball wherever she wants if she feels like that's the appropriate thing to do, particularly against a really good team. Sometimes you just want to clear it out of the entire defensive side of the ball, and that's perfectly fine. The other thing we want to look for, and this is going to be a big deal for Olivia this coming year, is we're going to work on throwing. And a lot of this is going to give the option for getting the ball to our right back or our left back wide out here on the wings. Okay, so she can come all the way over here and throw the ball. We don't lose possession. So for those who are new, state the obvious. When she punts this ball, could we have possession, 100% possession? As soon as she punts the ball, no one has possession. So now it turns into a 50-50 ball. The ball's floating up here, and someone's got to go get this ball. It could be an orange player. It could be a yellow player. We don't know. But surely, as soon as she kicks the ball, we've lost possession. When she throws the ball, okay, when she throws the ball to an outside player here, we still maintain possession, okay? What we don't want to do is what we did last year. Okay, we're talking about what we're going to improve on. if you've got a flat 4 here, and this she can throws it just a short pass over here, this 8 can come grab this player here and maybe get dispossessed. But we're going to try to get this player as wide out as we can. It doesn't have to be super rounded, but this is kind of the idea that we want to have function here. Okay. Now, if we were to flip this around, right, what we want to do is, so if we were to flip this whole board around here, and we were to reverse this situation, so let's quickly, I'm sorry. So here, if Olivia punts it, the formation we want to run is kind of this 2 lines of 3, 2 lines of 2. And again, this goes back to my 1/3. 1/3 of the field is here, 1/3 of the field is here. We've got the center covered, the left covered, and the right covered. Okay. So let me give you an example of something. So before I flip it over, so let me give you an example that's something that happened here in prior years. Let's assume right here that our center attacking mid has the ball. Okay, there's not really an option down in here. She can't get through here. So what are we trying to do here? And this is where playing out wide and kind of dropping the ball. We didn't really drop the ball last year, meaning that we have an open position and let's say open player in a defensive position. We kept trying to force the ball forward all the time. So we are going to try to do our best this year. So in this example, our center attacking mid has the ball. This person, she's covered here. What is she going to do? Obviously, we've got the 9. The 9 can cut through. She can look for kind of a pass up and through here, and they can do like a 1-2 position here. That's definitely an option. But let's talk about dropping the ball. Now, obviously, we've got this player here. But center attacking mid has the ball. Olivia punts it. Lucy grabs the ball. She's our center attacking mid. You've got our right back is wide open. She's trapped. Where does she go to? This is where we're going to have to get considerably better about finding space. But in this situation, this is why we want the 5 playing higher or the right back playing higher. If they're playing way back here, there's not really an option for a drop. Okay, there's not really an option for a drop here. So if this sitting right back is playing up, she can get this ball here. Is going to loosen some of the player here. Then we can get the ball up to 11. Then we can start moving this ball up throughout the field. Let's say the 9's here. Now we've got some options, okay? But if we go back to here, and this 5, the right back, is playing back here. Again, like I said over here, this is a long drop. But now if we can get this player here, it's a move to here. They can come join, but as soon as they come join, now our defensive holding mid is open. Now we can get some space through here, right? This person's got to commit one way or the other. Or if the ball comes over here down to the right back, this person's got to commit somewhere. As soon as they start to commit, this player can come back here. We get the pass over. Lucy moves over. Now we've got some movement, okay? The same idea is also true if Olivia throws the ball. We're just going to keep on picking on this right back over here. So same situation. So if the ball gets punted, and let's assume it drops down in here, this right back is open. The same thing if Olivia gets it to her right back and it comes all the way over here, now she's got an option, right? Now these players move over to provide some assistance, right? Again, one of these 2 players has to get committed, okay? If there's a lot of space here, there's a lot of opportunity for dribbling. That's perfectly fine. Some space opens up. This player, if no one comes to our right back, she can just keep going. But assuming that one of these 2 positions comes to her, okay, one of these 2 positions as an example, one of these 2 positions will be open, okay? So when we try to clear the ball this year, again, let's go back to this basic tenet. Stacking it, right? 6 in the center, 2 wide, oops, 2 wide here, but way out here in the sideline, way out here in the sideline. So, and I can take a second for people to visually look at this. So if Olivia grabs this ball, that's what we're going to be in. Now, what happens if we have a goal kick, right? If someone shot the ball, rolled into the box, she picks it up. Now everyone has a chance to reset. Now, if it's a goal, she has 6 or 7 seconds. Now, if the ball goes out, we have a goal kick situation. Now, is Olivia going to take the goal kick or is somebody else going to take the goal kick? If she takes the goal kick, it's going to be exactly the same thing. Nothing's going to change. It's going to look exactly this way. So she's got the same opportunities here as we did if she's going to punt it. However, let's say that Olivia Bassel is going to take the goal kick here. So we're going to be up here. She's going to, who's going to fill in this spot, okay? This is where, in this example, Sarah's going to have to come fill in this spot, and we're going to move either a striker or a center attacking mid. It would look more like this, okay? Now we can decide who's going to do what. That's not really a big deal. But again, it doesn't really change the situation that much. We got options wide. Now she obviously can't, if she wants to, she can kick all across here. That's more difficult. The 4 would be the more of the option over here. Having said that, now we're going to have, instead of looking like this as an example, right, 6 players here, it's going to be 5 players. But the same sort of idea. 2 stack rows here, a couple stack rows here. Everyone's pushed wide. Okay? And then, say Sarah's here just as an example. Okay? So this is what we're going to do. This is about clearing the ball and whether it's a goal kick or whether we're going to be punting it. Now, if we play the other side of this, now we're just going to flip out their keeper rather than flipping the board, I realize. If we switch everything over, we've got our 2 and our 3, and we've got Olivia down here as our goal. It's going to look like this. So for their team, they're going to have a similar situation. But what we want to do is, our 7's here, 11's here. Here's our center backs. This is our 6, our 9, our Cam, right? This player won't be here. These players won't be here. Just shuffling things around pretty quick here. 5, our 4. Now this is where it's going to look completely different than it did last year. So most likely they're going to look like something like this. A lot of these teams play this flat 4. The better teams will play even wider here. But now what we have is the 11 pushes up, our right wing pushes up, and we can get our left backs and right backs pushed up even higher. Okay? This is our striker part. Is that our 6? Yes. So this would be our defensive holding mid parting. I'm looking upside down. So this would be our defensive holding mid. This would be our striker in this area. Our Cam is someplace in this area. And what do we want to be? We want to be goal side. We want to be on this side of the ball as best as we can. If they're here and they get the ball, we're at a disadvantage. We want to be in this. We want to be in this sort of a situation. But if you look at the board here, this is more like, if you guys want to call this some sort of a formation in here, this is almost going to look like, let me move this back here. This would look more like, even though it's not what it is. This is going to be, well, same thing. Pardon me. 4, 2, 3, and then the 1 that's going to be in here. We're going to try to, wherever they're at, but what we want to do here is get these 5s and 4s pushed up as high as we can and leave our 6 a little bit back just in case there's some danger. Okay? And so we can even pinch in depending on what this keeper is going to do. And again, there's a lot of variables here, but we don't know how good this keepers are going to be, how good their punts are, all those type of things. But like we talked about, we got to get these ladies pushed up as far as we can to take advantage so we have the numbers on this side of the ball. Again, we want to have 8 people here and 2 players back. By the way, quick defensive piece of advice here. If there's 1 player back, we need 2 players back. Okay, if there's 1 player, you get 2 players guarding 1 player. If there's 2 players back here, we prefer to have our holding defensive mid sitting a little bit further back to disrupt any passes coming through this zone. So this is 2v1 or 3v2, something like this. Now, who's responsible for letting the 6 know to come back? One of these 2 center backs have got to tell our defensive holding mid, hey, we need help back here. It doesn't mean you have to be completely sticky and all the way back sitting like this. Maybe we do, maybe not, but there needs to be some help back in here, even to get kind of in this zone to kind of disrupt some of these passes. But again, if we're goal side, this is kind of what we want it to look like. Okay? Now, this will have less structure. We want to be structured, but on this side, we want to make sure we simply get ourselves in front of these other players as best as we possibly can, right? As best as we possibly can. Whereas on the other side, we're going to have that kind of column structure, okay? So this was just clearing it out, goal kick, punt, throw, whatever that means. One more time, you can get rid of the video and pause and go to the next one if you want. But for our purposes, this is what it's going to look like. We want it wide. We're going to have our columns set as follows. All right, this is what we want it to look like. We'll do 9, 10, kind of like this. This would be great for us. Something like this. Pinched over. This is kind of how we want it to look as best as we can. Okay? Again, two people very wide, couple columns, give some open space, and here we can creep in. The ball gets punted down the center. Ball gets punted over here. We've got numbers over here. Oops, that's not the ball. The ball gets punted over here. We can create some numbers. Gets punted over here. We can squeeze and push numbers up to this side. Again, I'm going to draw this real fast. What we're trying to work on for this year, I'm going to repeat it 100 times this year. We are trying to create this game into thirds, right? And for us, we want to keep the ball as best as we can on the defensive side of the ball outside this center zone. This is what would be our danger zone. This is a big problem for us, right? Where's their danger zone? It's all down in here, right? So we want to work the ball up to the wings. That's just a quick video for this. All right. And we'll work on offense. All right, guys.